guys, so if you are watching this video, that means you are thinking of becoming an SMP artist, or you're thinking of adding SMP as a service alongside what you're already doing. So whether you're a barber or your background is cosmetology, anything like that, and you're thinking of transitioning into the SMP industry, this free training is for you. Even if you don't have a background in cosmetology or barbering, this training, you can still go ahead and tag along for this training. I'm gonna take you guys step by step and show you how I do this procedure. And what this client is getting done is a hairline restoration. So his case, he's thin in the front. He doesn't have too much of hair loss, but he wants to get that front hairline popping. So I'm gonna show you guys step by step how I do a hairline SMP barbershop lineup and how I match the hair color that he has, because he's salt and pepper, he's gray. So I'm gonna show you guys how to match that gray color. All right, so we're gonna take a real good look at this hairline, man, the before, so y'all can see on my boy right here exactly what he's dealing with. Y'all can see all the light spots along his hairline. This one is dry and just push forward to the front. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna keep the same hairline more or less. We're just gonna fill in that entire area. So now I'm gonna lift up the hair so y'all can see what it looks like pushed back. So right now he's like salt and pepper. So that same salt and pepper look that he has, that's the same color we're gonna go for again. We're gonna put that same color right there that he has on top of his head. We're gonna put that on the hairline. I'm gonna wet it a little bit so y'all can see. That's how it looks. So that's what he's trying to get rid of, is that lightness in the front. He wants that density all the way through. So that's what I meant when I said earlier, when it's kind of, some people have this situation, so it's kind of like the barcode. They call it the barcode when it's just like mad lines and a lot of space between. So there's the barcode effect, and that's what we're gonna get rid of. So we're gonna keep the line close to where it's at right now. Probably some right here, everywhere you see it. We're just gonna fill in that space a little bit. So y'all stay tuned. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, my man didn't do the numbing cream step today, so we're skipping the step of the numbing cream. We're gonna go straight to the skin preparation, man. So I'm gonna show you guys how to prepare the skin for a procedure before you start. So first thing we're gonna do, man, we're gonna wash this with some antibacterial soap. This is the area we're gonna work on. We soak that down. I use a Dove antibacterial fragrance-free soap. You can get this at any CVS or Walgreens, wherever they sell soap at. They got them at the pharmacies. All right, towel that. We're gonna get another paper towel with some 70% isopropyl alcohol, right? So this gonna kill any germs on the surface of the skin.
I wouldn't say alcohol, bro.
Then we dry it, come back and dry it with the dry paper towel. All right, so next step, after we disinfected the skin with the alcohol and prepared the skin, now we're gonna start the hairline mapping. So this is gonna be the first step in the hairline mapping. We're gonna grab this little A&D ointment, grab a little bit of that, put on your gloves just like that. That's how I do it. Take a little bit of that, rub it in, your fingertips just a little bit. I need a little drop. And you rub this on the skin as well. So this is technically still part of the skin preparation. And the reason we do this is because the white pencil is easier to write on the skin and to manipulate that white line after it has some A&D ointment. So that just makes our job easier later on. It's not a required step, but I like doing this step because it makes the job easier, so why not? All right, next step, we're gonna draw this portion of the hairline from the center to this corner. Here as well, we're gonna freestyle this. I'm gonna just eyeball it and put it wherever I think it should go. So first thing you do is establish the center point. This is the center point of his face, right between the eyebrows. You go work your way up. Okay, you have the center point of the hairline somewhere about there. I'm gonna push the hair forward, see how that falls. Okay, yeah, right there should be a good placement for the center point of that hairline. So that's how we come up with that. So then we work our way to this side of the hairline. We do a dot by dot step all the way through. We pick up that corner, y'all can see, and then we work our way down on the side profile. You could connect the dots all the way through, like you see me do here. Just make that line pop more. You see how I use little lines instead of trying to draw a straight line in one go, because you can manipulate these little lines a lot better. All right, guys, so the next step would be to let the client see himself and check out the work and make sure that he's happy with the hairline placement. So what do you think about this hairline placement where it's at right now?
I think it's perfect.
From where you're seeing it. Okay. And I'm gonna show you everything that we're gonna do. So from this white line, we're staying behind it.
Right.
Everything behind that we're gonna fill in. So you see how much area we have to cover.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like much when it's like this, but when you push that hair back, you can see it's a good entire inch that we're gonna be filling in. That is the problem area. You know, that's a good amount of area that we're gonna fill in. It's gonna make the world of the difference for this hairline once it's pushed forward and things like that. Cause right now my brother honestly has a good hairline when it's pushed forward. It's not terrible at all. This is just gonna make it so much better. So once the client will tell you that they're happy with this side, then you can proceed to draw on this side.
Yeah,
and to map out with this side. All right, but did you say you want to hit the side profile today too as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be the side profile. You like the side profile as well too? Is lining up with the bow.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. So the next step after you do this side is we're gonna measure this and duplicate it over here. So I'm gonna show you guys real quick. You would be lining up that 6 right there, and then marking in that little indication right there on the tape measure. So right there we have it. It's gonna be a little bit before the 3. That same little spot, we're gonna go here. We're gonna measure this way with it and mark right there on the skin where that 6 lines up at. So that's gonna be on marking. Now we just do the same dots this way that we did on this side. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm doing. Following the natural side profile, I'm gonna just enhance what's already there and make it pop more. We're not creating a new line for the side profile, we're keeping the same one. All right guys, so for this step, we're gonna be double checking that lineup. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to double check that line. So for this step, all you really need is your phone, bro, your iPhone. This is how I double check my work always. So all you're gonna do, you're gonna go to take a picture, how you normally would. All I did is line up the client, the model, pretty symmetrical, so he's in the center of the phone, and take a picture directly in front of that hairline so you can see. Take another one slightly up higher, get a little more of a topper view. And then with this client that you see here, on these settings on your phone, you press this setting right here, go to crop, and make sure that line is 100% symmetrical, and you can play with that grid. You line up the grid first with its facial features, not with the hairline, but with its facial features. So first line it up with the eyebrows, make sure everything lined up, make sure the whole grid is lined up with his face. Once you have the facial features established, you can then move up to the hairline and look at the hairline and make sure it's lined up with that same grid. So everything here looks pretty lined up. We're gonna go ahead and move forward with this procedure. All right guys, so I'm gonna take you guys step by step on how I prep the ink for this client. So first thing I'm doing is just filling up that cup with water. Not really a specific amount of water, I'm just filling it up. Then I'm gonna measure that water to about 10 ml. We'll put that over here. So now I know we have 10 ml of water in this cup. And then with my smaller syringe, I'm going to use this for the ink. Now the ratio that we're gonna do on my brother here is gonna be a 30-to-1 ratio, meaning for every part of ink is gonna be 30 parts of water. So for example, 1 ml of ink with 30 ml of water. It's a 30-to-1 ratio. What I did was put 10 ml already of water in that. So the equivalent ratio to go along with that of ink is 0.33 ml of ink. So I'm gonna use this syringe right here and I'm gonna measure out that amount of ink. You guys can see there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's about how much ink we're putting into this cup right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that right there. And the reason I'm using this dilution of ink is because my brother is fairly light skinned and then he has that gray salt and pepper. So that's what we're trying to match with this dilution. So the way you do grays is pretty much you just take that black and you cut it on down. And then after that, a few drops of orange, literally probably just 2 drops, a couple drops of that. You stir that up and that is all there is to that ink preparation, man. This ink is ready to be used. All right guys, so the first step here is gonna be to do a couple dots along the hairline. I'm showing you guys exactly what I mean. So starting from, I'm standing on his left side and I'm starting on the right side of his hairline. I like this position because this angle allows me to work sideways. So that first little dot is going straight in the corner. The next dot you space it maybe like a 1/4 inch apart.
Southwest.
You're gonna want to stretch that skin too. And you're gonna stay consistent all the way across with your hand pressure and the spacing and the size of the dot. Over time, you guys' hand pressure will be developed, because this is just muscle memory after a while. So just like that, we have the front hairline completely filled with dots across the entire hairline. You guys can see there. That's gonna be our guidelines to fill everything behind that. So we know that nothing's gonna go past this right here. All right, guys. Next step, after you have that whole hairline mapped out, is to wipe it all down and see what the outline looks like. Take off that white pencil completely. All right, guys. So after you're happy with that outline and how it came out, we're gonna start filling in everything behind it. So we're gonna start from way back here, like past where his hairline actually starts. So like somewhere around here. You guys can see. That way we get that fade effect as we work towards the front. Alright guys, so for this step, we're gonna wipe everything down so we can see how it's looking without the ink residue, you know, because the ink residue will cover everything up. So we did one passing so far. We're gonna wipe everything down. So off the rip, this is the foundation for the second layer. This acts as a base, and then on top of that base, we're gonna put a second layer on top of it to maximize the density. So right there, you guys can see up close what that work is looking like. So you can see already right now it's there, but it's super light and natural looking right now, just how we want it. And then from there we can darken it up. Super light, super natural. You can't even tell nothing was done yet, but it's gonna come out super amazing for the second layer. Now to start that second layer, we start just how we did from the center. We're gonna work our way this way, and come back and do it this side again as well. But now when you focus on adding all the density that it needs and perfecting everything. Alright guys, you guys can see after 2 passings, this is what it looks like on this side. A lot more full right there. You guys can see the difference from this side to this side, you see? This is one session, one passing we did on the right side. And the left side we went over it twice. And you can see, this side's pretty much complete. I'm just gonna detail some things on this side. Now all we have to do is do a second passing on this side, and then we complete. Look how the color matches so good to this. I'm gonna push it forward so you guys can see how this side is laying right now. So with the hair pushed forward, everything just falls into place. That color matches super good. I got that side profile popping, super natural, bro. Alright guys, so here you can see, we're about to start filling in that second passing on this side. Well, you can check it out.
Holy shit. That's insane, homie. It looks perfect. That's amazing.
So that's what the hair pushed back.
That's crazy, son.
Yes. You see I did a little bit right there, a little fade.
Yeah.
But it just saw real soft right there, you know.
Whoa, man. Alright y'all, so I hope you guys enjoyed that free training, man. I hope you guys were able to pick up a lot of value out of that training that you could take with you as you begin your S&P career yourself. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of my background, how I came up myself as an S&P artist in the industry. So I started off as a barber, just like how many of you will also be barbers before you get into S&P. And the way I started was just offering the service at first to my clients. You know, whoever I seen that had a little bit of a bald spot in the crown or a little bit light on the corners of their hairline, I was offering it to those guys, and I picked up my first clients that way, and I was able to build my portfolio that way. And then I was offering the service just straight out the barbershop. So on days that the barbershop was closed, like Sundays and days like that, I'll come in and I'll do S&P in the barbershop, which technically is illegal. I don't recommend anybody to be doing S&P out the barbershop, but that's how I started. After the barbershop, I decided I need a real physical location. So I left the barbershop and I got a private barber / S&P studio, like a salon suite type of deal. And technically it was still illegal at the time to do that because you're not supposed to do both in the same space, but I didn't know that at the time, and I grabbed the space and I signed the lease before even realizing that I can't have both licenses in one spot. Then after about a year that I was at the salon space doing S&P and cutting hair at that same space, I had decided to go ahead and open an official office space just for S&P. That way I could have my S&P completely separate. And I was still cutting hair at the same time. I was cutting hair from a home. I had built myself a home suite at the house so I could cut hair. Then I had the S&P office suite. That way I was able to cut hair, still make my consistent barber money as I would throughout the week at the house. And then on days that I had my S&P clients, I'll come into the office space and do S&P. So that's when I decided to take my marketing super serious and get super aggressive with the marketing. So the first thing I did was Facebook paid ads. I learned how to do the Facebook paid ads really good. I paid a Facebook consultation person to teach me how to run the Facebook ads. And that was able to provide a way for me to repeatedly, time and time again, get paying customers. You know, people that are paying $2,000, $3,000 a pop. You know, that's what Facebook ads was able to do for me. I remember the first ad I ran. As soon as I ran it, the first lead I ever got from that campaign became a $2,000 lead. So that's when I realized that the Facebook ad game is it really works. You know, you put in X and you get out Y. It really becomes like a money machine. For example, if you put in $1,000 and you're getting a 3 or 4x return on your money, on the other end, you're getting a $3,000, $4,000, you know, worth of S&P clients, you know. So it definitely becomes something like a money machine once you learn how to use it and play with it. I teach people how to do the same exact thing as well. So once I seen that the Facebook ads was bringing me a profit on the money that I was putting into it, that's when I decided to just up the budget and go super hard at the Facebook advertising. I got super aggressive with it. And that's when my career pretty much took off, man. I was able to consistently do, you know, 2 to 3 clients a week, week after week, charging these guys, you know, 2,000, 3,000 clients. And that's when my life really changed at that point. And at that point, I was still cutting hair because on days that I didn't have an S&P client, I could still go to the barbershop and make, you know, $500-600 in one day. But adding S&P definitely increased my weekly revenue to a whole nother level, man. As a barber, my average week would be, you know, around $2,000, $2,500. Once I started adding the S&P service, I started seeing weeks where I would make $6,000 in a week, $8,000 in a week, $10,000 in a week. My best week ever, I was able to make 12 grand in a week. And that's income is haircut money plus S&P money, you know. So I was able to hit those numbers so quickly as I did in my career because of the way that the S&P industry is in Tampa, because that's why I started in Tampa, but also in pretty much every city across America. And what I mean by that is there's much more demand for S&P service than the amount of artists that is providing the service. So that means it's a real shortage of good quality, talented artists putting out good work. So people around the city or anywhere in the country, they're willing to pay that high ticket price for that person that's gonna get their work, you know, A1. Compared to the amount of people that's dealing with hair loss, it's like a huge discrepancy. There's an ocean of people dealing with hair loss, and then probably just a handful of S&P artists per city providing the service. I know in Tampa, I really don't have too much competition, man. There's a couple other guys around the city that's doing their thing, but probably just a handful, bro. It's not too much competition out here. So that's what lets you set up shop and pretty much just take it over and dominate pretty much wherever you're at, man. That's what I was able to do, and that's what I'm teaching people how to do as well. And then also comparing it to the barber game, for example, you have to build up your clientele over time. With the S&P game, you could get in, have 0 clients, because with S&P, you don't really build a clientele. So it's more so of a one-time service. You constantly have to get new people. But it's the good thing about that is you can start with 0 your first week in S&P, and already your next week, you're doing 2-3 clients in 1 week, you know. You can scale it pretty quickly with the paid ads. It just depends what kind of budget you have. But if you're able to get the exposure, you could definitely fill the calendar pretty quick, because you don't have to do a high volume of clients with S&P. That's the cool thing. You could do just 2 or 3 clients a week. You know, it's not a volume business. How the barber game is a volume business, that to where you have to do a ton of people a day throughout the whole week to make some decent money. With S&P, you could do 2 or 3 clients a week and make some serious bread. You know, at 3 clients a week, if you're doing $3,000 a pop, that's 9 grand right there, you know. So it is serious money in this game. Alright guys, so for anybody who is considering getting into S&P and starting a career as an S&P artist, I do offer a much more in-depth training program and mentorship directly with me. That's going to give you guys lifetime access to the online curriculum I built myself. It's going to provide free POV content, just like the content you guys had in this training with me. I'm going to take you guys step by step and show you guys different cases on how I work on different type of clients. It's going to include a S&P kit that you guys will have enough supplies in there to do your first, you know, about 30 clients. It's going to have needles, it's going to have the pigments, it's going to have the machine, the same machine that I use in there for you guys, as well as you guys are going to get feedback and revision directly from me on your hands-on assignments. I'm gonna take you guys step by step on working on the practice melon inside the online curriculum. You guys will send back pictures of your work and send that in directly to me, and then I'll check that out and give you guys revision and feedback on what you need to improve and what can look better. As well as that, man, we can hop on the phone. I'm gonna help you guys set up step by step the same way that I took off with my career. I'm gonna help you guys step by step get set up with your own location. I'll show you guys everything from the business side of S&P, from the marketing to the sales, and how to earn a high income for yourself. The price of this course I'm asking you guys is $3,000 total, and that will include everything I previously mentioned. I do offer 0 down financing as well, so you guys do not have to come directly out of pocket. We could do a super affordable payment plan, and at that price point, man, you guys are going to be getting a ton of value for that price, you know, because that price that I'm asking, $3,000, you guys can recoup that investment with your first 1 or 2 clients, man. That way you guys will definitely be getting your bang for your buck, man. You guys will not be disappointed with this training program. I promise you that. I'm a big believer, man, that skills pay the bills, and S&P is a super high paying skill set. So with all that being said, if you guys are still wondering about this training program, or if you guys need any clarity at all, or if you're just ready to sign up. You might just be ready to enroll today, man. I can get you enrolled and signed up by today if you guys are ready. I'll go ahead and book a call. I'm gonna put a link around this video, or you guys can click on that link, book a call with me. We'll hop on a Zoom call and I'll get you guys signed up and ready to rock and roll. So aside from that, man, I'll see you guys inside the training. I hope to see you guys there. I'm looking forward to mentoring you guys and putting you guys on a brand new career path in your life that will extremely benefit you guys. So y'all take it easy, man. We'll be in contact.